Well, hello everybody, this is Rick, your singing wealth coach, and today we're talking about the 3 reasons why people don't buy and why people don't buy from you if they're not buying from you. All right, let's talk about reason number 1. The first problem with people are just too casual. We went to a restaurant the other day, Shantae and I did, and the young lady said, "Hello, my name is Taya." Oh, I'm sorry. She was thinking that she was seating us. She was so used to saying her name. She was so bubbly and energetic until we had been discussing whether we was going to eat this place or not. So she had a menu, I had a menu. We had never been there before. We were sitting across the street from when my daughter was having surgery a couple of days ago. And we just stopped over at a restaurant to get something to eat. So we were debating what we were going to eat, but the young lady's enthusiasm was so remarkable until I said, you know what, we eating right here, right now, simply because she just walked up and said, "Hi, my name is Taya." And I'm like, wow, she introduced herself before we even walked to the restaurant. Now, albeit she may have been thinking, oh, she forgot that she wasn't actually seating us, but what the heck? She was so enthusiastic and had so much energy and had such a good way of approaching us until it sold me before I even knew what the food tastes like. It didn't matter. We were going to sit down and we were going to eat because of her approach. Her approach was so phenomenal until it got us in the door. Listen to me. When you're talking to people, and you have this casual attitude towards them, you never get a second chance to make what? A first impression with people. I see it all the time when people send me messages on Facebook, when people send me messages on Instagram, and they look at your profile and they say, "Oh, I see you're active all the time. I see that you got a lot of clients. I see that you're doing a lot of business. I see that you have even maybe a lot of influence." So they have these marketing companies that they run, and they said, "Hey, you know what? I was just looking at your content, and I would really like to get with you." Well, I'm like, well, that's too casual, because if you was really looking at my content or anybody's content, then the way that you would have approached the person would have been, "Listen, I just watched 5 of your videos, okay? And I was looking at your video that was talking about why people don't buy things from folk. And you know what? I noticed the reason number 1 was that people are too casual." I think that's really remarkable. And I believe if I had one of your videos, I'd be able to work that number so that you'd be able to reach a much bigger audience. Do you mind if I take that video that I had and show you my stuff? Now you see the difference between that? As opposed to this casual approach as to, "Hey, I was looking at you, broski. I was checking you out. And you got some amazing content. Let's get together and give me some of your money." Now I'm saying to myself, this person is way too casual. How am I gonna hire them to market for me? And they don't even know how to market themselves. I'm like, you're too lazy, you're too casual. Your attitude is too smug, it's too entitled. You act like somebody owe you something. That's not how real life goes. The way real life goes is that people are what? Not gonna buy anything from you. Why? Because you're too casual. Let's move on to number 2. The number 2 reason that people don't buy nothing from you is because they don't trust you. Okay, you said, "Ricky, of course people don't buy something from somebody they don't trust." Well, I have a question for you. You have products that you're selling. We're in the middle of the biggest wealth transference in the history of time. All right? And you got products that you're selling, and you can sell them to anybody around the entire globe. Let me ask you a question. Why haven't you gone live lately? Let me ask you another question. Why haven't you posted a video lately? Let me ask you another question. Why haven't you done a webinar lately? Let me ask you another question. Why haven't you done a Zoom lately? Why aren't you in front of the people who are already looking for you on a regular basis so that when they finally catch up with you, they can learn how to trust you? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Are you digging what I'm saying? I was doing a webinar one time with my daughter, Ebony. She and I are the only ones on the webinar, and I'm singing, screaming, laughing, having fun. And when we got through, Ebony is in stitches, my daughter. She said, "Daddy." She said, "You're crazy." I said, "Crazy? Why you say that, baby?" She said, "You know what nobody listening to that but me and you, don't you?" I was like, "Girlfriend, there was a whole host of heaven watching us, all right? They were invisible. You couldn't see them, but I could see them. Why? Because I already know they already approve everything we're doing. It's only going to be a matter of time before the entire globe going to be tuning in to us." Are you listening to me? That's when we didn't have anybody on our webinar at all. But you know what? I developed trust with people because I preached to 0 live people, just like I preach to the whole world now. Just like, talk to or teach the whole world now. Why? Because I knew I was going to have to be consistent to have somebody to trust me. Now listen, let me put it to you this way. I was taking a marketing class in college, and we broke up into teams, and they gave us all $100,000, and they said, flip that money over, all right? So the first few weeks, we were doing these little meager investments and doing this, and we had over, we might have doubled our money to about 200,000. We had one group who was in the red. They was losing money. We laughing at them. We say, them busters don't know how to run a business, all right? Who are these busters? So we laughing, making fun of them. It got close to the end of the 10-week period. All of a sudden, these guys got about $800,000 in their account. And we still down here hoovering around a little $200,000 mark. So they said, man, what's going on? So they divulged everybody's marketing strategy. So we looked at them and saw that they had spent $25,000 that quarter on marketing. So we said, what the heck? We're going to spend $25,000 too. So the next week, our stuff went up a little bit. We over there popping our collar, right? So now we done made about 50 grand. We looked at them, they got over $1 million. We like, what the heck is going on? They blew us clear out the water. So I asked the teacher when we got through. I said, ma'am, what happened? I said, we got all the way to the end, and I'm thinking we spending the same money they spending. I said, how in the world, why did they blow us out the water like that? And how did they start out losing? She said, well, from the beginning, they were marketing. From the beginning, they put their name into the marketplace. From the beginning, they were spending money to get what? Name recognition. She said, and you all weren't. She said, well, so when you decided at the last minute you was going to do it, the customers didn't what? They didn't trust you. They trusted them. So even though you might have been talking about the same exact thing, it's the fact that they had not seen your face enough to pay you any attention. I stopped by this afternoon to let you know this. People don't buy nothing from you when they don't trust you. They don't trust you. Why? Because you ain't been in the marketplace. You ain't been in the marketplace. Why? Because you're in the witness protection program. That's why. How in the world? I wouldn't buy nothing from you. I seen you one time. You just pop out the witness protection program talking about, give me gumdrops. Give me gumdrops. Don't nobody trust you. That's why they're not buying nothing from you. All right? And then the third reason people don't buy nothing from you is because nobody likes a beggar. All right? You say, what do you mean from that? What do you mean begging, Rick? I told y'all the song I hate the most is Jodeci's Cut. Now, Jodeci was a pretty good group in the 90s, but they had a song that I really despise, and the name of it was, Baby, I'm begging, baby. I'm like, man, ain't nobody begging nobody to do nothing around here. Are you listening to me? Why? Because you already have made a good impression on people. Why? Because people trust you because they see you in the marketplace on a regular basis. They say, Coach Rick, how did you become a multimillionaire? I became a multimillionaire because I'm in the marketplace. I've been live almost every day for going on as we do this video here. I've been live for almost every day. I can't even keep count. I know it's been at least 5 years. All right, 5 years is 2023. Let's say at least 4 years in a row, right? Of being live nearly every single day. It may be 5. Now I don't know, because why? When you are in business and you are serious about business, you don't keep score. What you do is that you just keep it moving and keep your momentum going. You don't get all jacked up because you made a little touchdown. You just hand the ball to the referee, and then you do what? You just line back up for another play. That's why I used to love to watch Barry Sanders play football. He would do all these cold moves and shake everybody up. And then just hand the referee the ball and line back up for the next play, and he shake everybody up again. Why? Because he said, I'll be back into the end zone. Why? Because of the fact repetition is what creates your reputation. So people do not trust you because you haven't showed up enough in the marketplace. So then what do you have to start doing? You have to start begging people for their money. What do you mean? What I mean is that when you make a presentation and you end your presentation, let me tell you how to end a presentation. Let the person know, hey, listen, have a good day, if that makes sense to you, and take off, all right? And then make them follow you and actually ask you, can they buy your stuff? Because this begging does not work. You mean what I mean? So, does that make sense to you? We got a deal? I mean, come on now. Let's make this thing work like the way we work it. No diggity. Listen, that's begging. That's just a whole bunch of different forms of begging, and it does not work. All it does is that it makes the person have less and less and less respect for you. Why? Because you didn't do the first two things. You started out too casual, feeling entitled. Then ain't in the marketplace, so the person ain't never seen you. So then you just pop up and act like they're supposed to do some business with you. So now you got all these frantic closing techniques. Let me tell you something, we are not in the 80s anymore. This is 2023. You don't have to close people anymore. All you have to do is just be somebody that everybody trusts. All right? And then trust is a new currency. And trust is because you don't take nothing for granted. You're not casual. All right? If you flip the script on being casual, flip the script on being untrustworthy to becoming trustworthy, you don't have to beg anybody for anything. Let me give you one way of being able to say the end of your presentation. You just say this to the person. Listen, This is what it is I'm suggesting to you. If that makes sense to you, then this is the amount of time that you have to get back to me. All right? Enjoy the rest of your day, unless you have another question. Okay? And then throw the ball in the court of the person that you're dealing with. If they trust you, if you've been in the marketplace long enough, if they've seen your face long enough, if they've had at least 7 different touches of watching your materials and your content, then they'll sell themselves. You don't have to sell them anything. All right? This is Brother Rick. It's been a plum pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege. I love y'all. Ain't nothing you can do about that. And remember that stellar is as stellar does. I'll see you on the other side of money.